But again, we've seen early doors, haven't we? What we said in the initial piece, that breakdown area is going to be quite a mess, I reckon.
Well, it'll be an interesting start. The two front rows getting ready to go. Steve Stanojevic, Matt Romano-Manu, and Hicka Stewart-Reed for Souths. Liam Smith, Martin Van Eyck and Brendan Harding in the front row for Onkaparinga.
Bit of a battle of the Barnets between Steve and Smithy today, isn't it, I think?
Matt Romano-Manu is having a good go at that as well. Liam Devine goes down the short side. Caden O'Neill will look to make inroads, gets into the 22. Smith sends it out. We'll find Ben White. Oh, just a little one. I saw it too. Caleb Witten just getting a little bit overexcited. It'll be another scrum. This one inside the 22. I'm sure that's what Mr. Keeper was asking him. Are we inside the 22? Are we okay to find our way out from here? Caden O'Neill, though, I've seen him play because there's been, when we went up to, I think it was Port, and we saw Onkaparinga play at Port, and Troy Doughty was away at that point, was in Japan. Caden O'Neill has certainly stepped into those shoes and done it very well.
Yeah, he can. He absolutely can. And we've seen some glimpses of him in within some state training as well. That's a really good kick.
There's a great kick from Tamai.
We've seen some glimpses of him in training in state setup as well, and he's actually looking pretty good. And I think he's been very well looked after and mentored by Troy, because at some case down the line, that mantra's got to pass.
That's very true, and I think as Troy is getting older, he likes to move out into that first five position as well. Good early line out. McKinley will send it into midfield. Try and find Murray. Again, they will go into midfield. Farsoa, who's been absolutely outstanding in every game we've seen him play as well. Liam Devine's clearly come with his work boots on. O'Neill to McKinley. Flat ball. Cami Kamitha nearly came away with it. Whittam will take over. Look for the offload. They have got the advantage. Murray tried to step back inside. Whistle, we're just going to come back for that first knock on from Cami Kamitha. Steven Stanojevic, who he's a player that will get under your skin if you let him.
Yeah, he's pretty chirpy. He won't mind me saying it either. But, you know, Onkers have got their share of guys who do exactly the same thing as well. And it's quite interesting because I'm seeing Haggis going directly up against Steve, and they're just going to be giving each other lip all game without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, well, it was Liam Wall who was just resting at the back of a ruck and was introduced to the hairdo. Just skipped to Van Aswegen. He will put the ball on the foot, and sideline beats everybody. Riley Matthews chasing after it. I think there's just going to be wonderful little battles all over the place today.
Yeah, there is. It definitely piques some intrigue as well. And again, seeing some of the results that both teams have had over the course of the season. South's beating Burnside and Onkers this season as well. So they can turn it on. They're very capable, and they've got the ability to be able to really kill a game as well.
Yeah, and Tamai just happy to clear it and clear the lines again. Playing sensible rugby at the moment, South.
Yeah, just feeling each other out, aren't they? In these early exchanges.
So Van Eyck will put the ball in for Onkaparinga, and they've gone to Farsoa again.
Yep, seem to be preferring that five-man option at the moment. It's giving them some success.
Good tackle in midfield by Easton. Floated over the top to Wilkins. Back inside to Van Aswegen. Pulled out the back to Farsoa. Big strong runner with the ball, but Matt Romano-Manu managed to pull it away. Probably a little bit of a shout out to Tomasi Romano, who went viral this week for all the wrong reasons. On the receiving end of a monster hit over in Victoria. 12,000 views it's sat at the moment, that video.
It's about how many we're getting live on this stream right now, isn't it, I think?
If you're going to go viral, it's not. You don't want to do it for that.
No, not at all. Worst things to have gone viral for, though.
So Wiggett at the back of the scrum, sends it out to keeper. As I saw her out the back, now they're going to go. Rowe straightens, takes on Wall. Ball's going to come their way eventually, penalty. Sealing off. Number 6, it's Tommy Klopf.
Yep. We said, didn't we? And we'll probably come back to it multiple times throughout the game. That's that's an area where it's going to be a contest all day long.
Let's see whether they're just going to try and tie things up here or whether they're going to go for the corner, and they've decided they want more than just the 3.
Yep. Kurt's got a huge boot on him, hasn't he? So he can definitely give you some territorial advantages either way. Missed quite a fair bit of the season, hasn't he, McKinley?
A rather horrible eye injury. Cheek, I think.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures that he put up on social media. It looks pretty horrendous.
So Witten. Turned over though, I think. No, pulled it down. So another penalty. So they'll probably just nudge it into that corner again. It'll probably happen one day where someone who's threatening to take a quick one will actually do it. Well, they are going to go to goal, and it's going to be Caleb Witten, who can strike a ball. Just to tie us up, just as we've ticked over 10 minutes on the Wojtek scoreboard.
Been a little bit less frantic than the early exchanges of yesterday's Premier Grade.
It's been proper finals rugby, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose you can be a little bit more cavalier if you know you're playing next week regardless. The winner of this one will go on and take on the Double Blues in Burnside, and the loser of this one is done for 2019. Looks okay off the boot. Flags go up.
That's a good strike.
We are tied up. there's the Onkaparinga mascot.
Who is that underneath it?
I think I know, but
right.
The rules are you don't say, do you?
Okay.
It has a name. I'm not sure what the name is. I could find out, but the mascot does have a name. Tamai goes deep this time away from Liam. Devine, oh man, and ball.
It's a lovely hit.
That is a good shot. Kami Kamitha just trying to disrupt it with. This time Devine does get hands on the ball. He's bounced up though. It's Ryan Evans took that one. McKinley will just put it on that left boot of his. Send it over to the far side.
Yeah.
Get some really good territory.
Absolutely. We said it earlier on in the piece, and that is something that he will give you all day long in those areas, particularly when it's in your own half or own red zone. The clearances from him will definitely ease a little bit of pressure from Onkers if they're ever in that position.
So that was man and ball from Jack Johns. Souths have gone to a 4-man line, just happy that they can get him up at the back, but not straight.
Second game of the day, actually, Jack Johns. I saw him.
I did see him running around in the reserve grade.
Running around for reserve grade against Burnside earlier on. I think he may have played a full game there actually for them in the end. So this is a big day. He's going to be sore as anything on Monday.
He's a young lad. He'll be fine. So O'Neill will put the ball into the scrum. It's a weird feeling here. Nobody really wants to jump first, and we talked about the games the 3 games that we've seen preceding this one have just been toe-to-toe swinging haymakers, where both of these sides are just, it seems more important to them not to concede.
Yeah, it seems just, it's all very, very composed from both sides at the moment. Not anyone really doing too much to sort of put their, or stamp any form of authority on the game early doors. But again, I think that these two are very, very evenly matched teams.
McKinley with the short ball, and there is your first break. Murray loops it over to Van Aswegen. The kick from Isoa actually helped him out. Then the inside ball to White. White will go over. White will score. Van Aswegen actually did very, very well to pull his hands away from it. Would have been very, very easy to snatch at that. And then the trailing runner, I think it was Callum Beale, the number 14. Good finish.
Yeah, a couple of questions being asked.
I'm not sure what they were questioning, to be honest. There's not a lot to question about it. Well, the mascot's head is off, so we would be able to see who the mascot is.
Can we get a zoom? Oh no, right on.
There she is. Just someone have to tell her the mascot rules. So Whittam with his second kick of the game. Ten points to 3. Onkaparinga fans are massed away to the hill behind the goal that they're attacking at the moment.
Yeah, always come in droves, don't they? Onkaparinga supporters, and very vocal wherever they go. Massive amount of noise in their favour for the women's game that happened earlier on today when I was down earlier.
Good restart from Tamai. Onkaparinga have got it, but they were under pressure. Just outside the 22 again. Just looking to pick and drive. Himself a little bit more time. Out to Devine. Now they will go back to McKinley. Send keeper all the way back. Goes backwards, but he's got time. Beats the first one. Eaton, short ball to Earnshaw. Earnshaw gets through a couple and then just rumbles towards the 22. Support is there. Wigan to Ronavuso. Showed it inside, then just decided to go himself. Romano Manu will work and find Stuart Reid. The groan, I think, is just went a bit pedestrian after they'd made the break. Ronavuso again, short to Johns. Johns will just try and take on the big fellas. Now away to the left to Tamai. Tamai will look to run around the outside, draw and give. He's got the runner out the side, gets to the halfway, gets 5 in the 5, sorry. Stanojevic is going to have to tidy that up, which he does. Yeah. But a little knock on.
Yeah, I don't think he was left without much of a choice there, Steve, because just as he'd gone over to seal that ball, the Onkers players were coming in and starting to flood that and fire on that breakdown area, and they've just forced him in to make that decision under that pressure. He's knocked the ball forward, and it's going to be a scrum 5 metres out for in Onkers' favour, and an opportunity to try and clear out as to where they are at the moment in the red zone.
That was Jacob Well out on that far side, receiving the pass from Hade Tamai, who is currently in the hands of the trainer. He's someone they don't want to lose, because when he runs on that far channel, when he runs in that far channel, in that outside channel, referred to it as the loose forward channel from rugby league. That's where you want your loose forward to run in, just that between the tram lines, really. And he can distribute.
It's not looking good at the moment, is it, by the looks of things?
Does look a little bit ginger. Hopefully it's just for the cameras. Probably the one way to get camera time, isn't it? Either score a try or be injured.
Or be an Onka's mascot.
That's true. So it's going to be an Onkaparinga scrum, way inside. McKinley is sat back in the pocket. I'm just seeing whether we'll see Liam Devine just try and come up from the back and try and give them a little bit more time and space. We talked about how short the in goals are in here.
It's a good scrum from
It is
South.
a good scrum from South. Caden O'Neill has to be absolutely spot on, but they are going to go just one more. Now McKinley sits back in the pocket. Back to McKinley. Didn't get all of it, but McKinley not getting all of it is just a lazy 40 metres.
It just seemed quite effortless as well, didn't it? That was good pressure from the South scrum as well. They've, you know, I think that Kurt just dropped back there to try and clear out from the from a first phase, but the pressure on has just enabled them to limit the resources at the next phase. But you know, it has ended up coming out irregardless.
Well at the front of the line and scrappy, but they've tidied it up. Keeper to Earnshaw again. He'll take on Devine, and again, good yards after contact for Earnshaw. Out to Tamai. Tamai then showed the outside, then went inside to Easton. Easton beats the first tackle, hands off the second one. Support comes. Wiggett to Keeper. Keeper delays, then found Klopp. Wiggett went again. There's a penalty coming, I think, for offside. Keeper thought about it. Options here for them. Stanojevic pointing out. Stanojevic pointing out Farsauer, saying, "I'm running your way."
Yeah, they've got, just seeing a replay back of that from South just there. They've got to be really ensuring that they're getting resources to that breakdown when they're attacking, because Onkas are going to have a crack at that all, you know, as much as they possibly can if they see that there's not the numbers there to be able to secure that ball. And lucky in this situation that Souths have managed to get and ascertain a penalty, but it was pretty close to that not necessarily being the case.
So scrum to Souths inside the 22. I've got a bit of a blind side to work with if they want it. Wiggett to Keeper. Again delays and an inside ball to Johns. Johns is met by O'Neill, but he couldn't stop him. Again, he gets into the 5. Wiggett out to Keeper, delayed again. Then we'll find Isoa inside the 5 again. Wiggett. Stuart Reid. Keeper again to Klopp. Lowers the shoulder, tries to just burrow his way through, which he can't. 13's got himself in an interesting position. That's Liam Wall.
Good play from South there, just as we stop and wait for another ball to come in. They seem to be taking that tip-on option, so trying to take the first 2 channel defenders out of the game and look to go on the outside shoulder of Onkaparinga there.
So they're taking the scrum again on the penalty. Scrum's been okay in the opening stanza for Souths.
Yeah, a bit of parity. The first couple of scrums seemed to look like they were going in Onka's favour a little bit, and Souths has managed to shore up a couple of things. So we'll be interested to see how this one goes now for Souths.
Get a good look at the Stanojevic versus Smith battle. It's a decent body shape from Stevie. Keeper again. Tries to pull it out the back to Tamai. Bounces, but he has to work on it. Does very well. Finds Rowe. The little kick over the top works. And Sam Rowe will go in and score.
That's a really nice try. And you don't expect players to chuck in that cheeky little chip in behind the line, particularly that close within their own 22. But he's done it. I think he's taken the Onkas defenders there a little bit by surprise. The bounce went in their favour, as the bounce went in favour of Onkas in the first try that they scored. And it ends up being a lovely try, and now we're game on at last. It's taken a little bit of a while, but I think both teams have now started to see themselves into the game and looking to be a little bit more creative.
It's interesting because the Ben White try came from a ball going to ground, and that moment it went to ground, it just kind of stopped everybody and allowed the try to be scored. And that's almost the same. That bounce brought all the Onkaparinga defenders up. A lot of space behind him. He found the space. Sam Rowe is the beneficiary of it. And Tamai just needs to knock this one over to bring the points level to 10 points apiece. Taking his time on it. Also had a conversation yesterday on the back of Fraser Green and how long he takes to take a kick. It's 60 seconds for conversions. And 90 for penalties.
Oh, okay.
Oh, flags stay down. So 10 points to 8. Short post, Elizabeth. Wilkins will restart. Deep one. Johns picks it up. Takes on Farsoa. Wiggett again. To Rowe. And it looks like they're going to go from here. Will. And they'll go all the way out to Tamai. Again, happy to use the hands from here. Then Kami Kamitha will throw it at the feet of Stanojevic. Does well to deal with that. Now Stanojevic is off and running. Carrying the ball like a loaf of bread. Oh, Van Aswegen did not want to be there. Ball lost forward from Romano Manu. Big contact between White and keeper. Into midfield. It's been little spot fires at the moment, and then they'll settle down. Wilkins finds a little bit of space. Big and interesting choppy tackle from Stanojevic.
Yeah, questions will be asked on that. Some good hands there as well.
Space out here though. Puts the ball on the boot. How's the bounce? He dealt with it. Wasn't pretty how he dealt with it, but he dealt with it, young Sammy Rowe.
Yeah, just about. Although Onkers will be happy with the result in throwing that they're just about to get there. And that's actually interesting because that started from a lovely swashbuckling run that came from Stevie down on that outside. And it just seems to, he's continuing on the trend of props that are loving life out in those outside channels at the moment.
I think he did well in the fact that there was long enough between his tackle and everything else. McKinley carries the ball, looks for a gap inside, finds a gap inside, reaches out, just not quite there. Caden O'Neill will send it out, bouncy, bobbly ball. White will go over. Second time he's been the beneficiary of a bobbly, horrible pass. Benny White's on a hat-trick.
Wowee.
It's starting to come to life though.
Yep, started to open up a lot now, isn't it, as we look back on the try that was, and a nice break from Kurt McKinley, who's ran into quite a busy channel, but he's done well to get out of that. And I think the number 12 there might, if that try wasn't scored, he might be up for a potential arm around the neck there. But look, try scored. Onkers now
15 points to 8 with the kick to come.
Kick to come.
But there has been little spot fires all over the place. The odd break here and there as Witten just strokes that one over.
Yeah, and you are going to get that in this game. And we said it early doors as well, that there are going to be some times where, particularly when there's the mess that's going to be created around the breakdown, and that's going to attract some players into those areas as well. And you've got some players here who do have a little bit of flair about them, that have the ability to make those runs and find those gaps. And then it just depends on the byproduct after that as to what happens.
17 points to 8. That one will go forward and Souths will get it back. Well, they have to win the scrum first, but they've been okay with that so far. So Wiggett will put the ball into the scrum. And Wammer reserve, that is absolutely bathed in sunshine at the moment. Hasn't quite felt like finals weather though so far, has it?
No, not really. There's still this dark cloud that's amassed over the reserve, and yesterday was really quite a windy day, so some challenges there for certain players in trying to deal with that. But today's a little bit more calm. Good weather, you'd think, for some running rugby as well. Just looking back over the course of the season, there's been some really interesting results from Onka's point of view, ones that you just wouldn't have expected early doors. Certainly that 36-33 loss to Port in the penultimate week.
So Wiggett will put the ball into the scrum. Out to keeper. Out the back to Ronavuso, then to Rowe, the try scorer. Rowe with a little in and out, then takes on two of them. Keeper again, has Stanojevic, uses Stanojevic. Dealt with very well by Witten. I think it's going to be a penalty.
Yeah.
I hate it, honestly. But it is a penalty. Having a chat about what they want to do. It's 17 points to 8, so I mean, there's plenty of time if you just want to keep it's ticking over. But again, they've gone for the scrum. They're obviously comfortable with their set piece at the moment.
Yeah, interesting decision. I mean, you look at the last set piece that they had on the first side of the field to where we are at the moment. So our South is left side, and they've made some good yards just through that. Through the hands there in that phase play that they just did earlier on to actually win this penalty in the first instance. So maybe they've got a little bit of faith as to what they can do out wide if they win the ball.
So just a bit of shenanigans in the front row at the moment, I think.
No.
It's been the second one that we've had to stop and restart all over again. He's going to go their way. Now they will look to this blind side. They're just going to put Beale one-on-one. Good challenge. And they can build from here. Stanojevic again. Met by Martin van Eyck very, very quickly. Wiggett to keeper. Keeper will straighten, try to run through the gap, which shut very, very quickly. Good offload to Easton though. It is going to come back their way. Wiggett. Not sure that Stuart Reid was the intended recipient, but he dealt with it. Wiggett again. Out to Johns. Johns tries to step back inside. That's the line. He's going to go their way. Just dive towards the line. Not quite there. Just going to have a chat about it. If he got over the line and it's held up, they'll go for the scrum again. Romano Manu's celebrating like he's got it.
Yeah, look, I mean, it looks good from here.
And the try is there.
Yeah, thought so.
It is good. Romano Manu just burrowing his way through.
Yeah, just seeing the way that he actually put that ball down just so quickly. He was halfway down the ground anyway by the time that he had placed that on the floor. So I don't think there was any way that the Onka's player had been able to get arms underneath within a split second. But it's a very well worked try overall. Where you look at where the source of that started for Souths on this far side with that scrum here, platform was pretty solid. They've trusted. I wasn't initially convinced at the decision to take it down the blind alley, but they've built what's outside them quite well and just
they gave themselves the whole pitch to work with.
Exactly that. A lot of width, and they're gaining some success from that. So it's opened up really nicely. Both sets of teams are giving it a crack.
So 17-13 with the kick to come. Bring us to a 1 point difference if he can kick it over. That one looks good for me. Oh, the flex go up. Geez, they made us wait for it. We are at 1 point. While we wait for this ball to come back, we probably should just give a tip of the hat to Rugby Union South Australia. They do this every year.
Yeah, a lot of work.
You cannot understand the undertaking that this final series is. It's a full road show, Saturday and Sunday for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a lot of work that goes into it. A lot of work also in collaboration with the hosting rugby club.
Earnshaw gets on the hoof again and beats a couple. Steps out of another one, makes his way to halfway. He is having an autumn of his career at the moment, isn't he? Then he will go again. Keeper, flat ball, bounces. Oh. Penalty though.
Yeah, he's been it's his second marauding carry that he's had at this game so far.
Loving life at the moment,
really,
isn't he?
Really tough to take down. There's some Onks defenders that are struggling to deal with him at the moment.
Still playing back row as well, so he's still got 2 more rows to go before he retires. Tamai had a look at it and decides to go to touch. Interestingly, they haven't decided to go for the scrum because they have been very, very comfortable with the scrum. He's got hold of it okay. Oh, Van Asvegen wasn't far away. Tell you what, that kept you on the edge of your seat as well. Probably nothing worse as a kicker than getting that right in the middle of the field and trying to work out, well, I know I can get to the sideline, how much further down the line can I get it?
That is the go-to line though, Dave.
So Kami Kamitha with a big throw. Last one went not straight. They're happy just to go to the back, and no, it's gone over the top. It's going to work out for keeper. That's bounced off a couple. He's missed it. Who got it? Anyone got it? It's gone down with Onkaparinga. Everyone missed it.
God, blimey. And that was almost a carbon copy of what we saw in yesterday's game as well, where the ball's gone to the back of, we saw Roll Coles do it a couple of times. The ball's, they opted with a decision to go to the back of the line out. It's not quite been successful. I don't necessarily know why you choose to do that.
Oh, right, it's Stanojevic. Off his chest. Throws the ball away in disgust. It's a hard one to take that. That was moving.
Yeah,
it's a good save though.
Kurtz just absolutely volleyed that at him there. Rooney-esque.
I'll be head on for the scrum.
Would be interesting to see that again because that was, it just bounced all over the place. I know that the first one missed it, definitely.
Yeah, nothing came of it. The amount of players that dived over and trying, it was a bit like watching me and some front row fellas try and dive on a pie that was loose. It was, you know.
There's no way you would miss it though, is there?
You're absolutely right.
O'Neill. Go out to Wilkins. Wilkins corralled back in field.
Been dragged along the floor there.
Well, dragged along the floor and got them yardage. Easton made a tackle. White. Short ball will find Evans.
It's the decimator.
All a bit messy at the moment. I think Souths have turned it over again, which they have. Wiggett to Ronavuso. Kami Kamitha gets man and ball, but sheds the man first off. Wiggett again. Keeper. Little show and go from him. Earnshaw plays halfback. To Mai, to Johns, to Romano Manu. He'll come back inside, look for the safety of his support players. Ronavuso tries to find a little gap, goes through a little bit, finally dealt with. Keeper, delay again, then inside to Kami Kamitha. Kami Kamitha sits down Smith. Doesn't happen very often. Stanojevic, he'll go off the back. Finds Stuart Reid again.
Good patience here from Souths.
Good phase play once it's starting to get up here, but this is where South Australian teams tend to get itchy feet around now. Tamai will find a gap. Tamai gets through. Look to knock it over the top. Just going into contact and restarting would have been the better option. And O'Neill will go back to McKinley, and McKinley will just put the left boot through it. And all of that work is undone.
just in such a flash, all of that hard work, all of those phases, just by a moment of indecisiveness there. And I think had he taken just a step, he's in.
Oh, he's let it bounce. Oh, Beale got a hand to it, but couldn't quite get there. Van Aswegen to Farsoa. It's all broken now. Smith inside to Farsoa. He will find a little bit of room. Lazy run. Sends it back inside, and Farsoa couldn't quite bring it under control.
Two really good opportunities, two good try-scoring opportunities in the last minute. Just both squandered right at the last, right at the last touch of play. Had one from South, this one that we're seeing on the screens now from Onkers. Just attempted offload there, nice looking pass, just a little bit too high.
Such a silky runner. I mean, you talk about McKinley kicking effortlessly. Farsoa runs effortlessly. Riley Matthews did everything right, and just that last pass just didn't quite go to hand. So Kami Kamitha is down. Just a hand, doesn't matter, Villy, you've got two of them. So it will be a scrum down to Souths. Inside their own 22, and they've just been happy just to clear and rebuild.
I think the scoreline at this stage as well, probably quite reflective of the way the game's gone. It's been relatively even. Both teams have had opportunities. Both teams have made some mistakes. It could go absolutely either way, and we did say that at the start of the game. It's one of those games where you're going to struggle to call, because both teams over the course of the season have been pretty evenly matched.
Well, I just looked down and saw that we were in red time. I honestly thought we were about 15 minutes into this first half, and that's how quick it's gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first 10 minutes went pretty slow, but since then it's definitely picked up the pace a little bit.
Again, they're happy to just clear.
I think they'll be a little bit upset with that clearance there, South.
Well, there was good pressure on it. I think it was Benny White. He was having a bit of a day out, his old Benny. Sparkles, as they call him, down the hill, or up the hill, or up the hill and then back down it, I think. So Van Eyck will put the ball into the line, just outside the 22. We are following the script of every single game we've seen that has been absolutely nail-biting. McKinley into Devine. He'll come back. Onkaparinga now trying to build something of their own. White again will shake out of a tackle. Gets his way into the 22. Caden O'Neill will pick up and go again. Nice hands. Wall is enveloped by keeper. O'Neill again to White. Short to Devine. McKinley holds. Flat ball to Smith. Smith had Kami Kamitha. Again, they will start to rebuild. Just dropped. And that will be half time. So 17 points to 15. That missed kick is the difference at the moment. We will take a breath and we'll be back with you for half number 2. So welcome back. Half number 2. South's trailing this one 17 points to 15. Onka's looking okay for who they are, where they are at the moment. Haven't really put their stamp down on this one just yet.
No, speaking to a couple of the members of Onka's coaching staff at half time and to Swamp Dog as well, a legend across South Australian rugby, I must say. He's just saying at this stage that, you know, would like to see his team try and get the opposition players out wide a little bit more, and feels as though they've got some areas around success for if they can do that, but they haven't managed to do that so far. And he just thinks that they're just panicking a little bit, almost waiting for Souths to actually do something rather than try and meet them up.
Wilkins will put the ball on the foot, turn them around. Rowe will amble over, pick that one up, and again is just happy to clear. Misses touch though. Finds Devine. Has to go and sort it out himself. He does half a job. He's helped by Klopp. Little pick and drive again.
It's good defence there from Souths.
O'Neill again will come to this near side. Farsoa missed everybody, and it will roll its way into touch.
It looks as though from that maybe they have had the chat about getting out wide into the wider channels.
Oh, he's gone. Kami Kamitha is gone.
What's wrong with that?
Trying to count the number of players in the lineup. Possibly that. Detford Gunning was like, nah, we're doing this. Again, they'll miss the target. It's a big ask for hookers. Benny White runs straight. There's his shirt scragged over the top of his head, but they are still going. Smith to Farsoa. Farsoa will step back inside. Stanojevic will roll him to the ground. Oh, stolen, but illegally. Side entry. Another kickable penalty. The number of players pointing at the posts, and they've decided to go.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb Whitten's having a day out with the boot, to be honest.
Really impressed by how
so with the line
by some of the running from Farsoa. I have to say he's put a stamp on the game big time. He's looking pretty solid in the line out.
I know you've had your notes. I haven't been up on it. Is he Don Bradman Brown? Not Don Bradman. Don Smith Brown?
Don Smith. I don't know actually. See my notepad mechanism, i.e. my iPad, has decided to die on me. So yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, thank you very much. No, cheers. It's a sad time for everyone involved.
Press F for respect.
I'm mourning this at the moment, but I can have a quick look for you.
So Caleb Whitten will line this one up. Sent on its way and brought back absolutely wonderfully. And the flags will go up again. Caleb Whitten takes them out to 20 points.
Yeah, and just keeping that scoreboard ticking over.
20 points to 15. First blood in the second half goes to Onkaparinga.
I can tell you through extensive research,
Facebook,
i.e. Facebook, that yeah, he is indeed on the list for Don Smith.
That's commentator's curse, and Will has taken over it. And it was really, he might have heard my intake of breath because it was it was just toying with that 10-meter line. Tamai will show, manages to find a gap, decides to back himself. Excellent tackle from behind by Van Aswegen. Wiggett to keeper, flat ball to Johns. Johns manages to talk to the first one, can't get away from the second one. Wiggett again, will find Klopp. Wiggett directing traffic, then just hands it up to Kami Kamitha. He wants to go from there. Kami Kamitha goes over.
I think we're good.
Kami Kamitha will score. And in the blink of an eye, they will bring it back to 20 points apiece. With the kick to come. Wicket just literally picked it up and gave it to him, and that's just too strong.
It's just power. He's just power. But I think also you've got to look at, and one of the other Onkers coaches raised in the at half time when I had a conversation with him just about first up tackles, and that one was that's a little bit shoddy, particularly around the breakdown area as well. You just expect that if someone's going to pick and go, you almost want to just dump them straight back into the ruck from where they come from anyway.
It was a yes, but it was a different kind of pick and go. In that normally you would see them start low and keep low. He was stood up almost straight away. So Tamai will try and push South into the lead, a lead that they haven't had since early doors, where they kicked the first penalty of the day. Oh, it's pulled its way back and the flags go up. They have kept us on the edge of our seat with everything today. I was doing the old golfer's lean back here. So Wilkins will restart. Farso would want that kick-off back, wouldn't he? Deep restart by Wilkins. Sits on Johns. Johns gets Farsoa, trying to make up for that. Wiggett to Easton.
Run.
Just happy to put his head down and do the hard yards, Dave Easton.
Yeah, he straightened up really well there as well. He's not afraid of a big hit, a big contact.
Oh, the back to Tamai. He'll just turn them around again, and Wilkins has to go all the way back.
Yep.
It's going to bounce, or just hold up before it goes in goal. Has all the time in the world and just clears. It's a player down. I think it's Johns in his second game of the day.
Yep, just shakes it off, as we've seen so many times.
Waves the physio away. Poor bugger. He's made it all the way over there. So another lineup, and they're going to persist with this. Oh no, they're going to come early and short. Getting it back to Kami Kamitha. I don't think that one went 5.
No, you see that quite a lot as well on occasions, when those little trick plays, when you're looking to go to the front man. Such is the eagerness of the front man, I think, to try and make sure that he's getting hands on a nice clean ball, that he actually just impedes and encroaches into his own 5-metre line.
McKinley will tap to himself and then send it into the half, and Tamai thought about it.
I don't think he did at all. I think he's just trying to keep the Onkers players on their toes there. But having said that, I must say, and you know, I've had feedback as well from other players from Burnside who are watching this. Souths are very unpredictable.
Now they go over the back to Stanojevic. Went backwards, then went forward, so all good. Romano Manu will stand in at halfback. Fine Klopp just lowers the shoulders. Counter ruck came, it was invited and came. They've got away with it. Will looks to take on Witten. Wiggett takes control to Tamai, to Earnshaw. Again, big yard, well, not as many yards after contact, but good enough. Easton, flat ball, good hands. Stanojevic,
great hands.
Right until the last one. Stuart Reid just not quite ready for it.
Yeah.
And again, you just want to see them take that next phase.
Yeah, it was nice quick hands initially from the player. I can't remember what number he had on the back of his shirt, but he's recycled the ball quite well there, just as the Onkers player was almost flat up on him. Nice shift, but then I don't think that the other one was necessarily expecting that was going to be the case. And as it stands at the moment, Farsawa, who is someone that we've talked up over the course of this game, looks like he's in a little bit of difficulty at the moment.
Just having that knee checked, and if you were worried about, or you were wondering, what was it, Swamp Dog?
Yep.
Swamp Dog, yeah, that's the Swamp Dog, John Marsh.
John Marsh. Someone who has ploughed in a lot of hours to Onkaparinga, someone who's also ploughed in a lot of hours and helped out with South Australian rugby. Always a really, really nice bloke to speak to. Looks like the kind of person that you wouldn't want to speak to But he's
well, the
honestly,
nickname Swamp Dog doesn't do him any favours either, does it?
No, not at all. You know, given a nickname Swamp Dog, looks more like a wizard. But he's a cracker of a bloke. Absolutely love him to bits.
So Farsoa is back up and about. I've forgotten what we were doing here. Onkaparinga scrum.
Looks like Tommy McCall's coming in to play prop.
Friend of the show, Tommy McCall. Go back to that grand final 3 years ago where the Spacequake Sports and Rugby Union journey started. And an absolute cracker. Here we are 3 years later. Welcome him back. He's had a couple of bites at it, just couldn't quite get it back. Has found its way though. McKinley delayed. Pulled it out the back to Wilkins. Devine just goes straight at Will. Easton will bring him to ground. Klopp tried to get hands on, couldn't quite get there. Wall got man and ball, but managed to shake away. O'Neill again. Out to Riley Matthews, he'll put the ball on the boot. Easton dives on it like a grenade. That is some excellent work from Dave Easton. Wiggett to Tamai, and they're happy to just play away from the goal line again.
Yeah, good courage and good conviction to get back and just dive on that ball as it was loose and coming through. Not a bad decision to opt for the kick actually, and as he looked to turn the Yonkers defenders backwards towards their own goal line.
Well, there has been a change for South, and there's another one just happened. Craig Earnshaw comes away. 251st game.
This is a bit dramatic because the penalty.
No mean feat at all.
Will be replaced by Wes Toman.
Yeah, 3 points for a penalty.
There's been a change over on that far wing as well. I just haven't seen his number yet. Van Eyck to Farsoa. O'Neill, McKinley. And in midfield, McKinley on the wraparound. Oh, didn't quite get there. Klopp almost got hands on again. McCall.
Yeah, he'll give you that. Tommy McCall will for sure. He's just a very, very powerful, incredible ball carrier. Tough to stop once he gets going.
O'Neill again. Inside to Murray. Murray makes great yardage. Now they're inside the 22. Smith to McKinley, to Van Asvegen. And out to Wilkins. Wilkins looks to come back inside, meets Johns. Johns has got hands on. Got to be rewarded. She is, they have turned it over. Wiggett showed a couple and then just chewed off a couple. Romano Manu with a little show and go as well. To Tamai. Tamai, they're going to run from here. Will managed to shake his way inside. You know, something that Tom McCall's going to give you is just how big he is and how difficult he is to clean out. Taking it off in chunks at the moment. Toman has to work hard to get to ground and does. Tamai kicks over the head of O'Neill. Takes a great bounce, finds its way in. O'Neill wants to go quickly. Does go quickly!
That's a great shot.
He got man and ball. Counter ruck is, they've tried everything. Easton gets there. Now they've got hands on. And they'll get the penalty.
That just went both ways really quickly as well, didn't it? I mean, it looked for 1 second that tackle from that tackle just looked as though it had, they'd been able to force a turnover, and then next thing you know, the ball has been turned over, and then Onka's worked really hard to try and slow that ball down at source again. It's a great hit. It's a really good hit, and it's just flaring up a little bit here on the pitch now.
Well, it's Stanojevic, and it's that kind of time in the game where he wants to get you off what you are trying to do. He walks a very, very fine line.
He's been like it since he's been about 18, though, Dave.
Well, it's part of his game. It's almost like, so Martin Johnson, you remember Martin Johnson, never really found himself on the wrong side of referees, but just got under the skin constantly, earned penalties.
Yeah, and look, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You'd rather have someone on your team like it than against it, because it can.
You used to have Callum.
Yeah, can have a tendency to boil over on occasions, but also is someone who's very good to have in your court.
Van Eyck will put this one into the line, and will steal it. Romano Manu tidies up. Keeper. Klopp gets man and ball. Devine has hands on again. He's out though and has been snaffled by Johns. Wiggett to Tamai. Has to find space and does. Now they've got Van Aswegen and Wilkins back there. Wilkins puts the ball on boot. Johns is underneath it. Johns takes it. Back to Keeper. Keeper sends it back. Devine does very well.
That's a good take from Devine.
He will take on Keeper.
Yeah, thought that
got
was
him
going to
high.
happen. It's starting to just gradually show signs of boiling over this game now, and we did say early doors that this was going to be potentially the case. And
I don't think it was. I don't think there was anything malicious.
No,
that one.
No, I've just seen little pockets of.
Devine just lowered himself into it.
Yeah, just seeing little pockets of stuff off camera.
I don't really want to see that. That's Gerard Van Aswegen, and just checking out his jaw. If you remember, start of last year, he had a really nasty jaw injury. There was talk about whether he should play again. Is he just getting that looked at? It's where it was. I think he's got all sorts of metal work in there at the moment. But he's okay and going back. So just the high one, like I said, nothing malicious in it. McKinley will send it down into the red zone. So a line out just outside the South 22. So Farso is still there in the middle. This time he's not contested. O'Neill to McKinley. McKinley will send it out into midfield to Devine. Klopp gets him. McKinley will go again. He'll look to straighten. Gets into the 22. Out to Wall.
It's happened a couple of times, isn't it, for Ronkers in this half?
But there's
they've got the penalty.
Penalty, and it looks like it's bang in front, and already about 17 Onkaparinga arms pointed at the post.
Yeah, including those on the bench right next to us as well.
They're going for points.
To take them 1 point in front. Caleb Whitten has been faultless today. Onkaparinga bench not very happy with me, putting on the commentator's curse, but
it's a myth.
I can probably confirm as well that taking the headgear off does nothing other than get your face on camera.
Hey, when they bring that ball down in the line.
20 points to 22. This one will take them 1 point in front. Good off the boot. Great off the boot.
Yep.
I expect my apology from the Onkers bench shortly.
Good luck.
Yeah, 23-22.
It's been good again.
Yeah.
Waiting for a ball.
Affirmative.
Time is off.
We're just seeing exactly what we've seen throughout most of the finals games that we've covered so far this weekend, Dave. The pendulum just swinging back and forth, twists and turns and ups and downs, and you just think, well, what's going to give? And this is going to go down right to the wire, as the other games have done as well.
Yeah, we are just approaching the hour mark on the Wojtek scoreboard. Tamai was inches off on the last one. See whether he goes for safety this time. It's a good kick again,
kick.
And Johns is underneath it, and they win it back again. Easton had a couple of bites at it, but gets it eventually. He's not going to get away with that.
No, I didn't think he would. And just going back to the kickoff as well, what was really good about that was that they'd sent a play. You've got the player who's gone up, and he's gone up to contest the ball. There's a player that's gone past the ball who's looking for a tip that's coming backwards. And then you've got the guys that are just holding fire a little bit, just in case anything comes back their way from that tip. So covering all angles there as well.
So they will push them down. It's a little bit of a danger time for Onkaparinga. Onkaparinga have managed to get the nose in front a couple of times, and then just appear to switch off from the kickoff, and South have been able to bite back a couple of times. So it's Onkas have got to put the nose to the grindstone right now. Come to the front to Will. Out the back to Wiggett, to Keeper. Into midfield to Toman. Runs very upright, but he's done enough. Wiggett to Keeper, inside ball to Stanojevic. And out to Rowe. To Ronavusa. Bit of disruption from Onkaparinga, and the counter ruck comes, and the counter ruck is good. Caden O'Neill gets it.
They're choosing their timings quite wisely to counter-ruck this game, actually, Onkers. There's been several times where the ball's been left at the back there from Souths, and Onkers have given it a crack, and Souths just haven't quite secured it. And there you go, there you see it, a turnover.
White takes it on the bounce to Farsoa. Farsoa will work his way inside. Easton comes across and gets him. Van Aswegen finally dealt with. Some big contact out here.
Just killing the ball there, wasn't he? The South 6.
Flexibility and mobility that he requires.
Kemi Kamitha asking all sorts of questions of Tristan Clemens here.
Yeah.
It wasn't that one though.
What's the time?
I think there's blood on Tommy McCall's hands, so he's going to have to come and spend some time on the sideline. Try and clean him up, strap him up. So the same to him as I said to Villy in the first half. You got two of them, Tom, you're all right. So McKinley will push them down the line.
Lovely kick.
Is she choosing her husband again?
Looking at these two sides, and some coaches put a lot of stock on it. Souths are ready to go at that line out as Onkers are still wandering up.
Yeah, it's always an interesting one psychologically, that one actually, that you're there, you're ready, you're set, and then actually you put a lot of onus then on the opposition to try and figure out options to try and combat
Turnover again, Stanojevic steps inside, good yardage again from him. Counter ruck really good from McKinley, but he's on his own. Johns bounces it out to Rowe.
Loads of bounce passes in this game today.
Rowe gets to ground.
Obviously intentional.
Johns hit hard. Stanojevic again, just shifts it on. Looked for the offload, wasn't there, decided to die with it. Easton again. You're not going to get much from him other than what's required. Out the back to Tamai. Tamai again will look for space. He's going to kick it down the throat of Wilkins. Van Aswegen will run around. Just looks to chip it over the top. Lets it bounce. Kami Kamitha does enough.
Yeah, well collected there from Kami Kamitha.
And then he's thrown it in field. He's thrown it forward again. I mean, it's either that or the line-up. And he's gone with the offside. Wiggett's gone down. He said, I've got cramp. And they said, which leg? He said, both. So Wilkins and Van Aswegen are helping him stretch that out.
That is community rugby, isn't it?
Bless him.
Good sportsmanship, that.
Oh, cramp's horrible. Drink more water, young man. So they've pointed at the posts already.
Okay, interesting decision, that one. Look, if he's confident, then by all means,
yeah,
crack
you've
on
got to
and enjoy.
give him the call. Let him make the decision. I mean, Kami Kamita did well, but as soon as he started to try and get that outside, I thought he would found himself in danger. Just have a look at their reserves. I'm not sure whether they've got anybody in there who can play halfback. They're going to take the kick while Wiggett continues to get treatment. Looks okay off the boot. Has it got the legs? No.
Unlucky.
Johns is going to go and just clear the lines.
Otherwise, looked like it was a really, really good kick.
It had the direction, just not the distance.
Yeah, good accuracy, but just the length was a little bit lacking. It was, and then just a clearance as well from Souths to just try and ease a little bit of pressure that they've just faced within there. But again, it's ebbing and flowing, and it's showing signs that it's gonna be going either way. Just seeing a couple of players from Souths as well, just starting to slow up a little bit.
And Wiggett, if you're still cramping after this amount of time, I'm not entirely sure that you're going to be able to run it off, young man. Just looking for movement away to my left. It looks like Jack Bush is going to join the action shortly. I mean, you've got some options there. Keeper and Tamai could possibly play it. I mean, like I said, if you're still going after this amount of time on the cramp.
I think the referee's picked up on that, and he's just asking the question, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And it looks as though...
Well, no, they're not changing him. They're changing 5 Green.
Okay.
So I think they've made the substitution to give
he's running
Wiggett a little bit more time. I mean, cramp is a horrible, horrible thing. Do you think the next time he has to exert himself, he's going to end up in exactly the same spot? Farsoa again. Van Aswegen hits the line hard, makes his way through. Easton will get him. Wall. Short ball to Devine. Devine will just work his way towards the 22. O'Neill again. Wall will put the ball on the boot. Is it going to skip away? It will skip away. Matthew's not quite there. Punishes the chairs in the back of the Rugby Union U.
Restart. They might be going for goal.
What have they come back for? Must have been a penalty that they've come back for, and they'll go for post again.
No, they're taking their points.
Joe Wiggett is back, stretching those calves.
Yeah, not looking really good, is it? And I saw just as they were taking the line out, Onkers, that he was stood on the side of South's format, and he was just looking as though he was trying to disguisingly stretch that off a little bit.
You see the scoreboard in the background in the stadium, 23 points to 22, the narrowest of margins. Saw a game decided by a point last week. Geez, that's how long it's been. Yesterday. Game earlier today was narrow as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think most of them have been, haven't they? Decided by the smallest of margins.
Witten again. That
good.
one's better, pushes them out to a 4-point lead.
Yeah, just get the feeling that Onkers have started to assert themselves a little bit more on this second half as they aim to try and close it out. And we've seen the ball down in this half, so in South's half, a little bit more frequently than what we perhaps did in the first half. But again, South's being as unpredictable as they are, and certainly for some of the first up tackling that we've seen from Onkers' perspective as well, they could be right back in this game in a short matter of time.
So Tamai will restart. 10 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Changes are happy. Tommy McCall's come back on. So I'm going to test out that hand straight away. Complaints of high, that wasn't.
I've seen him given, seen him not.
Toman makes his way forward. Wiggett to Ronavusa. Short ball to Easton. Good tackle from Farsoa.
Good work on the
Did
ground.
really good work on the ground.
Really good.
Rowe. Short to Kami Kamitha. Ronavusa again. Stanojevic gets man and ball. There's Easton to help him out. She does. I think the word for that is munched by McCall. Tamai will put it on the boot. O'Neill with some great support work. Arm has come out. I did think he got caught a little bit right. That's Stuart Reid. Van Aswegen having his own little game.
Irregardless of whether that was...
yeah, he's going to go to the pocket.
Yeah.
He's going to go to the bin. Looked like it was late and no arms in it.
Yeah, a little bit. And I've got to say, actually, credit to Wonkers as
Oh,
well.
he's hurt him as well.
Just for that exit. You know, ball's just come over there and just chipped it on into the 15. He's done really well just to sweep that ball across, and they exited really well. But, yeah, Souths are going to be going a man down. And this is where Onkers need to try and establish a bit of a stranglehold on this with the advantage that they've got at the moment, and now the advantage of an extra man.
I have to say, is there an argument for a little bit more there? No arms in the tackle, late. He's in a vulnerable position. And you know a kicker. You know that someone's kicking it.
Mm.
You know that's happening. You look after each other, especially in community rugby. And he'll have to come back because, again, I'm looking at the Onkaparinga bench. I was looking at the Onkaparinga bench to see what coverage they had, and I think I'm seeing Troy Doughty get ready. I feel like we should have swelling orchestral music if he comes back on, because that would be a comeback and a half.
I'd be pretty shocked, and I think he's been...
No, the boots are going on.
Okay. I thought I saw him earlier on just sat in a manager's vest.
Yeah, no, he was. He was sat in street clothes, but I'm definitely seeing boots go on and shoes go on. I mean, what other halfback replacement have we got away to our left?
And his socks and shorts are on, so...
Yeah. But, I mean, again, as we see the travelling support from Onkaparinga, it's a long way.
Long way.
Although, I mean, I've driven this the last couple of days and I've come up here and looking wistfully at that road while it gets built. You can't wait for it to be finished. He does not look comfortable.
No, definitely some movement, definitely some eyes on how quickly Troy's getting on his boots at the moment. So I'm kind of going to maybe say that that actually might be happening.
There is no tomorrow though. We've talked about this. I mean, if
it is do or die. Yeah.
Yeah. So that they need to, and if you're missing a linchpin like your halfback, then you know you need a replacement. Would you put Troy Wilkins in there? There is Fred the Devil having an absolute ball. So that one will be pushed up to halfway. Just try and keep an eye on Caden O'Neill and how he goes after this one. Still holding that right shoulder of his. So Van Eyck. Again, Farsoa.
Yep, another good line out.
McKinley. Flat ball into midfield. Manages to run around the first tackle and get away from the second. Now he's just trying to find a little bit of space. Can't quite get there. Johns has got hands on again. This time he couldn't beat the clean out. Into midfield. O'Neill. He's struggling. They're holding him off the ground. McKinley, short ball.
I think there's some valid calls of offside there, actually.
That one looked a little bit forward, but Faso didn't mind.
It was. Yeah, it
Yep.
was. No question about that one.
So 5 minutes to go. Still nervy. O'Neill didn't look overly comfortable, and there comes the change. So Caden O'Neill has gone. Troy Wilkins has gone into 9. I did wonder whether that would be the sensible change. There will be a South scrum. Still a player down. They've had to take Dave Easton off as well. Just trying to see who they've changed for Easton. Or is that because they brought a front rower on? Penalty. No, they're not a full arm bind. I think they were chomping at the bit, Onkaparinga, having the extra man in the scrum. Just seeing players now shield their eyes against the sun.
Yeah, it's starting to come out in force as it starts to set and really get low into, or really get into the eyes as well. And this is the time now where you're looking for either side, because it's so close. I feel as though both teams have been quite pragmatic in their approach over the course of this second half, and now is actually the time to try and stamp your authority on it.
I think as well, there's no real respite from it at Elizabeth. A lot of the places we go, the shade will come.
Yep.
That one is missed though. Wilkins will look for space. Beats the first one, then runs back into Wiggett. Witten to McCall. Offload back to Witten. Stopped in his tracks by Romano Manu. Inside, outside. Not really going anywhere, but they made the yardage. McKinley steps inside the rush. Klopf tries to get hands on, can't get there. McCall gets a hand free again.
Yeah, he's looking for that, isn't he? Looking for that support once he's turned the defenders inwards.
Penalty. There's a flag out on that far side from Mr. Jackson. Not sure what he's seen. There's a decent chat.
Yeah, I haven't got a good viewpoint on it from where we're sat, or even on the screen.
No, not sure where he's going or what's happening.
Serious enough.
Well, Mr. Jackson's gone back. It's just a penalty.
Okay.
And they've decided to go to touch. Caleb Witten doesn't get the call up this time.
Quite interestingly enough, looking to our right, and indeed,
He's
Troy
warming up.
is warming up.
So Onkaparinga line out on 22. They've been pretty comfortable all day with this set piece. And again, Farso will go. They do try and bring it down and get that drive going.
Yeah.
They can't bring it down now, so it is going to go. Van Eyck, it's in the hands of Van Eyck at the back. He's got his eyes up. Penalty or try at this point.
Very intent looking, Martin Van Eyck's eyes.
It is
as well,
a penalty or try at this point. Stanojevic. Well, he's just found himself there.
Just come through just a gaping hole there, hasn't he?
And he doesn't have to let go because it's not a ruck, but they'll go short within 5 meters again. Out the back, McKinley had to reach for it. Gets there. You would think if they score here, they're ready. They are done. Still battering the door.
All or nothing for South now, isn't it? And they're defending that line really well so far.
Wilkins sends it out. Inside ball from Murray. Loses it. Souths have come away with it. Klopf, they're going to have to go. Johns onto the toes of Rowe. Has a couple of goes at it, but gets it. Wiggett to Tamai. Tamai pulls it because he has to.
Yeah. Got to say, good from Souths that was. Really well intended defences just on their line. They were Onkers were just knocking on the door, weren't they? And then Souths ballsy enough to actually turn around and try and play the ball out using hands. And then in the end, it's just broken down. He's had no other choice but to hook that one out on the touch line, and it's another line out for Onkers, which you expect on current form that they're probably going to win.
We've seen a charge down in red time before, but we are in red time. Now they go to 2, and it has been stolen by Souths. Tamai. They have to run it from here. Keeper.
Absolute commentator's curse there.
Sends it out to the far side. Support is coming. Penalty. Side entry.
Yeah, and we're at red time, but not so sure how much
There'll
longer
be a
we've got.
lot because
I think so.
Yeah, Joe Wiggett was on the floor for a while with that cramp, so I think we're pretty safe that this isn't the last phase of play.
I know.
Tamai just tries to banana it. Never really get the distance you think you're going to get when you do that.
So it's got to be a try, isn't it, for South?
Has to be. Penalty won't get him over the line. Onkaparinga will need to repel this. Oh, thought they'd messed it up again, but Stanojevic.
I don't know whether he's meant that or not, but it's worked.
To halfway, Souths, to Tamai, to Klopf. Klopf a little bit isolated. It's going to be okay though. Wiggett to keeper. Flat ball to Ronavusa. Massive challenge.
Was available outside him.
Go the other way. Tamai, Stanojevic. Stanojevic left it hanging out there.
Yeah.
And McCull steals it. Van Eyck back inside to Farsoa. Farsoa out the back door to Wilkins. Wilkins will work into the 22. Smith to McCull. Possession rugby now. McKinley to Wall. He's dropped it. Or just didn't sit up for Johns. Wall will manage to work in the 22. Stanojevic. Smith to White. On a hat-trick, remember. Van Aswegen drops a goal. That'll do it. That is some smart rugby from the South African.
Very smart. Crossy said it yesterday in the commentary piece that we were doing, that you are going to see some stuff like that come across within games at this stage of the season as well, and that has done. And I've got to give a bit of kudos as well to Tommy McCall, because he's actually that's all been set up all from his rip off of Stevie. Possibly question marks on Stevie for carrying the ball just in the one hand on his on the hand that was going into contact, which kids, that's not what you want to do. But Tommy sees the opportunity there, taking the ball onwards, and patient play from Onkers has seen them now in what looks like
a converted try to bring them level, but the counter ruck Onkaparinga, the cream rising to the top when it needs to. Penalty for hands. Questions will come now. How long, sir? Well, there's lots of hugging going around, so he still has to tap it if it's going to. If he kicks it direct into touch, we go again. We are going to have the line out. McKinley. And there's a change, I think. Bush will come back on and Stuart Reid will come back in. Nobody can see over there.
No, it's,
they are looking right into the teeth of the sun over there.
You're seeing the problems that this might be causing as well. I wonder if this would affect the line out. But I'd be looking at this from a South's perspective and say, look, do as much as we can to disrupt this, because and they didn't.
Farsawa just brings it down and they start them all again. Stanojevic trying to work his way through the middle again. Lost forward. So they will get another bite at it. Got to be close. But there was a lot of stoppage for Wigan.
There was. So just out of interest, what are we into here if it goes, if Souths do manage to get a converted try and tie it up at 29 all? It's going to extra time?
Yeah, I assume so, yeah. I did get sent through the competition rules and didn't read them comprehensively. But yes, it would, yeah, we have to have a winner today. We would go to extra time. Come back out. That's smart from Wigan. Did you know what? For such a young lad, that's really smart. He removed all that, just picked it up again. Told him to come back out. If there was a time to go up one against the head, now it is. I think if they win this one against the head, I think you'll see this bench to our left.
Yeah, they'll
celebrate it like a try.
They'll pretty well erupt, I think, knowing that that's nearly it.
Wiggett to keeper. To Ronavuso. Managed to keep it alive. Ronavuso takes on Wall. Wall does well. Counter ruck is good from Onkaparinga. He's just kicked it through the middle. Penalty.
Well, they were seeing that ruck.
Tamai has to go, does go to Klopf, to Stanojevic. This time he does make it through and the ball comes back his way. Counter ruck is good again.
Yeah, they're going to go for every single one now, I think, Onkers, because they know full well that if they can force a penalty, I think that's pretty well game over.
Out the back to Tamai, to Bush, to Ronavuso. He will straighten, very, very isolated. Bush has to work hard. Counter ruck comes again. Keeper tries to step back inside. Witten with the ankle tap. Bush to Johns. Runs back on the line and McCall does it again. There's a penalty though for High. Again, they just got to go from here. Tamai will go. To Stuart Reid.
That's a good
Big
carry.
fella takes a good carry. Into the 22. Wiggett to Klopf. Klopf is met hard by McKinley, and again the counter ruck comes. Again it's messy. Wiggett.
Just got to be composed here, South. They've got to make sure that they're sealing every single ruck off.
They are holding on. Big fella will go again, Stuart Reid.
Slowed up there, didn't he, a little bit?
Just make sure it comes back your way. There's another penalty. That one for hands in. Card, Tommy McCall. I mean, if you're going to make an impact, come on, he's ripped the ball twice. He's done his bit, and now he's got his yellow card. He's blooded for it. Bled for the cause. They're going to scrum.
I think so, yeah, I saw some.
Well, you just lost Tommy McCall, so you've lost a substantial weight in that front row.
Very much so. And
what have you got? There is a rainbow overhead. Is there a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow for South? What have they got set piece-wise? They look blind. Romano Manu to Tamai. Tamai runs around the outside, gets close.
Just piling bodies in,
Yeah,
aren't they?
that
Onkers?
counter rock again, but they've got to keep their feet. Still going. Again to Stuart Reed.
Oh my
He
word.
is making up as best he can for that yellow card. Counter rock comes again. Wiggett, keeper, fires it out, bounces.
This is the only problem for Onkers when they're ploughing in so many resources into this breakdown. It's leaving some gaps outside.
Wiggett again to Bush. He'll just lower the shoulder and take on Witten. Wiggett to Mai. Flat ball to Kamikamitha. Has to work hard to get to ground. Still going to come back their way. To Mai. Inside ball to Ronavusa. About 7 out.
It's there.
Romano Manu to Bush. To Rowe. He has to come back into the safety. Keep it on the island. We talked about it yesterday. Romano Manu will look to drive his way over.
Just needs to get that ball
Wiggett,
to ground.
they're within 5. Keeper. Flat ball to Stuart Reed.
He's done well there, Stuart Reed.
Again it comes. Wiggett. Keeper. Inside ball to Tamai.
Stole.
No, it's still going. Witten has hands on. Wiggett. Keeper again. Over to the other side. Ronavuso steps! Ronavuso scores!
Wowee. And this place has just gone quiet on one side, really loud on the other. South are in absolute raptures. And I'm looking at the Onkers bench and they just can't believe
It's
it.
gone quiet. Yeah, and
Do you know what? Some unbelievably patient play from South there, and
Yep.
there were some passes that were really flat.
and it's that really difficult
my word.
moment. It's that really difficult moment where you think you can't rush it.
Well, I mean, look, there's so much pressure for Souths on completing these phases as well.
We cannot overstate the pressure of this kick as well. Now it is bang in front of the post, but I'm telling you now, he will be as nervous as he's been
Hugely.
at all, because there is a level of expectation on
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, massively. But yeah, just fair play to South, because they know the pressure is on. They know it was all or nothing. They knew full well the repercussions if there were any mistakes in there. They've been solid. Some really good carries, always making gains.
I mean, they had penalties to give.
Yeah, they did.
Really.
Yeah. Unbelievable end to the final game in this preliminary round.
Well, we will go to extra time. Tamai.
There we go.
There we go.
Wow,
29 points apiece. Are we still going? Yes, we are.
I think so.
We will go again. This is a big restart. Massive restart for both of these teams. Penalty from halfway. I tell you what, McKinley would think about that, wouldn't he?
I think he'd give it a crack, but
I think Liam Smith's
think
just asked him
he's
the question.
trying to sow the seeds, but here we go.
He sent it
Good
a
God.
long way down.
Question to Souths now, guys. How is your bottle? I mean, you've just worked so hard to tie this game up on an even score.
I tell you what, though, is it not worth a pop? McKinley
Wowee.
from 50.
The decision's been made now, and they've been pretty effective in the line-out so far, so can only see how this is going to go.
I expect to see no contest from South, so they just have to stop the driving more. Onkaparinga will want to get it going and get it going quickly. We are 93 minutes into this game.
Unbelievable.
Varsoa brings it down. They do try and get it going. Can't, though.
And Steve is in there, just
He is
asking
in there.
questions, but that's going to be a
The
penalty.
arm is out, and that
Oh,
is
wow.
kickable. Smith to McKinley. McKinley will just put it on the boot. Try and send it through. We're going to come back.
It's a silly penalty to give away.
Caleb
To give
Whitten.
away. I understand.
Caleb Whitten, the stage is yours.
I know exactly what he's trying to do, Stevie, there, but I got to say, you just got to stop it at source and try and just be really disciplined in this area. You guys have just worked really hard to get to where they've got to and to put you in a position to take this game into extra time. And now this is a seriously kickable penalty.
Yeah. And Max Shearer, who's the tee carrier for Onkaparinga. You see him there in the yellow jersey.
Yeah.
He's got his black and gold boots on today. He was on the pitch and handed the tee to Caleb Whitten before anybody made a decision. That's some high rugby IQ, Maxi. We talked about the kick for Tamai. This one is as big. It's gone quiet here, as you would expect.
Oh, if he slots this
Respect
is
the
not.
kicker. I don't know whether there would be too much time. 95 minutes on the clock.
If he slots this, it's going to be anything other than quiet with this bench next to us.
He's pushed it. It's not going to come back. Goes dead though, so it'll be a 22, and that will be it. We are 29 points apiece. 29 points apiece, and we're starting. We will just reset.
20 minutes of extra time. If still drawed at the end of 20 minutes, continue play with golden goal.
So we're going to go 20 minutes of extra time. I'm not sure, is that 10 minutes each way, or is it just the full 20? Not sure. Looking for somebody with a yellow vest on to come and speak to me. So, and then if it's still there, then we're golden point. So is it 10 minutes each way, or is it just a straight 20? Straight 20.
I think there's.
It's got to be 10 minutes each way.
Some of the officials are conveyed right in the middle of the pitch, just trying to figure out.
I'm not entirely sure that the official. These draws are so rare in rugby.
I mean,
that you probably wouldn't have thought. I know I haven't really looked into it.
But I mean, like, within your 3 years of coverage for Sportsquake, have you come across it? Sorry, for Spacequake.
Here we go. We're going to get it.
Yes, they do swap at 10 minutes.
10 minutes each way. 10 minutes each way with no break. We're just going to swap around.
Unbelievable.
It's not helping me. I'll tell you that right now. As we reach the end of the second game, my toilet break is way overdue right now. So this is big. No, we're not golden point. It's just going to be 10 minutes each way. So we're going to play an extra 20 minutes of rugby anyway.
Wowee.
Just let your loved ones know we're going to be home late for tea. We'll wait and see where we go. And everyone's going to get some extra rugby. Not sure how much longer this one's going to last either. How much this break is going to go. So just looking at implications, I think Troy Doughty had gone back into street clothes. I wonder whether he's thinking about going in there. So Onkas are ready to go. Souths are ready to go. Do you know what I love about community rugby is once we get to this point, there's all sorts of rules about playing enclosure and who's allowed in the playing enclosure. You can't tell our rugby community that. Like, they're on at half time, having a kick around, everyone's on from Souths, giving the players hugs and stuff. My favourite thing was when we had the NRC here a couple of last year and the year before. Again, the rugby community's just on. This is our ground, we're having a play. So
Unbelievable. Dave, I really appreciate you talking throughout that piece because I was
I know,
trying to get a bite of my
just
burger because
stuffing
I'm
your burger in your
starving
face.
and I've not eaten for 4 hours
Oh
nearly.
my God! Is that are you going to survive, Tom?
No, to be fair, mate, I think it would take me at least 7 years to starve to death. But blimey, this game, wow,
would be a while.
this has been something else, isn't it? I don't think I've seen anything like this in community rugby for some time. But look, we said at the beginning of the game this was going to be one of the most evenly matched games over the course of what we've seen results-wise this season.
So far, Soa takes it, and there is a break, and it's early. Tackle is made. Now, we must point out that we're not golden point at the moment.
No.
It's just 2 sets of 10 minutes.
But I'll tell you what, you're going to see both teams. This is going to be the most intense 20-minute period that both teams have played.
McKinley to Witten, lazy one. And it's Stuart Reid again. Van Eyck. Wilkins showed and stepped back in. Now they're trying to find a little bit of room. Riley Matthews trying to wriggle his way through. Wilkins will step in at 9. Out to McKinley. Short one, another short one. Penalty for High. Wilkins wants to go, does go. Steps, tries to work back. That's a heck of a last-ditch tackle. Again. Gonna look again, little show. Can't get down. They'll build again, Wilkins. Sends it out to McKinley. McKinley will step back in and try and get there. He's just gonna have a chat. Now he can promote the ball in any direction immediately. And I feel, because he's short and then just pushes it forward. We saw it on the last angle. We'll see whether we can see it here. Short, and then he promotes it. It's an interesting one. There's no such thing as a double move. Going back for the penalty.
A bit of gamesmanship by the
Jack
Souths.
Jones is a character. Wilkins is pointing at the post. Witten will stride forward. He's in front of the Onkaparinga crowd now. Oh, I thought for a second he was going to drop goal that. It's not golden point. Remember that. We keep going. Headgear stays on for this one. Over it goes.
First blood to Onkers.
3 points in front. We talked about it, didn't we? We said that Brighton would have been watching yesterday and watched that encounter and watched each other beat each other up and think that was great. Burnside will be watching this and thinking, will they have anything left when they come next week? These players are giving it their all. So there's going to be a change for South as well, as Zia Vogel will make his way into the...
And do you know who the person who I'm quite sorry for as well within this? Poor old Jack Johns. I mean, he's played almost a full game for the reserve
And he's still going, and he's now in extra time. Did they? Yes, they just took off Stuart Reid. I think for a couple of reasons. One, he's probably absolutely spent. And two, he's on a yellow card, and he was actually penalised for the high and got away with it. He could have been sat down. Could have been a red card. So they've saved that. Onkaparinga now will step back inside. Someone's got hands on from Souths. Haven't done enough though. McKinley carried it, showed the kick. They are outside now with Van Eyck. Van Eyck with the big don't argue. Zeervogel gets him though. To McCall. McCall will straighten. McCall finds his way through. Looks for the offload. Nobody in a red and black shirt there for him though. Wilkins again. To White.
almost be a sense of relief that he's had a 10-minute rest leading into this period
I
of
know,
time
right?
now.
He's had a spell.
He's had a little spell on the sidelines, and he can make a difference when he gets his hand on the ball.
Wilkins to McKinley. Short one, just cuffed it up. Advantage to Souths. Nothing coming.
No, and actually, you see an error like that, and that makes South's part of possession that they had leading up to that try just even more impressive, because you just see how mistakes like that can creep in when it's really, really high pressure. Starting to see some players seize up a little bit off camera at the moment.
Yeah, he's cramping all over the place. Wiggett is he still out there? Wiggett's still out there. That's you're getting through some. Just having a look at it. It's not news they want to see. Caden O'Neill has got that arm strapped up. It doesn't look great for Caden O'Neill. He wouldn't want to have to deal with that. The one godsend, I suppose, for the players is it looks like the Shadows are going to make the way all the way across. And ladies and gentlemen, Troy Doughty has made his way into the field of play. So he's going to go into 10.
Getting a big cheer from the Yonkers crowd that are situated on the hill there as well. It's definitely a welcome return. And if anyone can galvanise a team to a to a victory, particularly in the confines of this arena that we're in at the moment and this situation that we're in at the moment, it's him.
So South will have the scrum. Onka's looking to walk them backwards. Wiggett fired at it. Keeper did well. Short ball to Johns. Johns has managed to shake away from a couple. Again, you just saw him think about the offload. Keeper out wide to Toman. Wiggett to Stanojevic.
Carry.
Better. Finally, Johns, I think, has submitted to his second game of rugby. Ronavusa
Can blame him.
gets away. Question of high. Yeah, the arm has come out. Mr. Jackson got him. Keeper again, great hands. Klopp will straighten. Works to Doughty. Wiggett, keeper. Outside ball left by everybody. Gonna come back for the penalty though. Oh. Kickable. Tamai had a look. He's asking the question. Do we want to do?
It looks kickable to me, and I think that given the short spell that we've actually got within this extra time, I think you've got to take it.
Yeah, they are taking it. I'm not entirely sure where we are time-wise.
No, it says 7 minutes on our clock, but there's already been a couple of stoppages already. Introduction of some new substitutes that have come on as well, which will have affected that too. So, yeah, not entirely sure. But just enjoy the drama and the uncertainty.
It's great, isn't it? For us, it's great.
I don't know about that.
I think if you're wearing an Onkaparinga top or a South top, it's slightly more nervy.
Yeah, I think speaking from a Burnside perspective, they're probably looking at this and just hoping that they carry on bashing 7 bells out of each other.
But momentum will come into it again.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever comes into next week will be coming in on a high, you would say. Sends it on its way, very high, very straight. Flags go up, we're all square again.
Something's got to give.
Generally. Generally. Now, the thing is as well, is that you just go golden point until someone scores.
Yeah.
Jeez. We could be here next week. Restart. High hanging restart. Oh, Fasora's gone down. I tell you what, that's good work from keeper to keep him out of trouble. Keeper wants to go. Keeper does go. Isolated, but the support gets there eventually. Kept his feet for long enough. Wiggett. Tamai. Ziervogel. Wiggett again.
Good carry.
Romano Manu thought about giving it, then again just decides on safety. Tamai, Zeervogel.
Just taking some players that extra couple of seconds to get up off the floor, isn't it, at the moment? Fatigue
Tamai
starting
to
to set in.
Klopp. Klopp will work there. Some agricultural language away to our left. Ronavuso tries to work his way through. Question about high again, Romano Manu. Again sends it out, that time to Sutcliffe. Ronavuso is down.
There.
Van Eyck versus Ronavuso. Van Eyck drives them back in the tackle. It was all good. It could get a bit chippy now.
No, we thought it might.
Van
and it kind
Aswegen,
of
there's
is.
bits and bobs going on. Van Aswegen against Wiggett. I don't think Wiggett's going to go toe-to-toe with anybody. Keeper has a short fuse. Someone needs to get him in. I love Dave Gunning. Dave Gunning's like, okay, you're all done. Scrum, let's go.
Yeah.
All finished? So who's that down? Is that
Martin
Van
Van
Eyck?
Eyck, yeah.
I hope it's not a gram string. Hey.
Old Snoop doing his wizardry. Snoop, sorry.
The Swamp Dog.
Snoop won't thank me for that.
No, I don't. Snoop's just
neither will Swamp either, I don't
no. You upset everybody all around.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a South scrum. It was all a little bit messy.
That Stevie and Haggers have stopped chirping at each other in that front row. I think they
got,
just haven't got the breath.
energy. Right, so I think we've managed to work it out. We are 11 minutes into this one, so nearing half time in this one. Again, Onkaparinga get an initial shove on, goes down. We will go. Keeper out the back to Rowe, does well to step out of it and then just puts it down, but we're coming back.
Yep.
Penalty, offside. I mean, it's almost worth just getting into half time, especially with the amount of people cramping up and stuff like that, but we just turn around so we don't get a break.
Yeah, no, that's it, and I think that's...
Stanojevic, this time he rolls away.
So I think they will turn around, won't they? It's
Wiggett
at the
to
10-minute
keeper,
point.
to Zeervogel.
Onka's just doing everything they can to try and disrupt this and slow down this at the ruck area, the breakdown area.
Keeper to Johns, a superhuman effort from him
Yeah,
today.
good on him.
Oh, Farsoa nearly stole it. Lost it forward, trying to steal it though. Half time.
Here we go.
They'll just turn around, but as per usual, everyone tries to wander on. It's not happening.
No, they've
Just
all
turn
been
around.
They've all been told, and they've all been told by the officials here that they
They
can't be
tried.
doing that, but they did give it a crack.
Yeah. So we're just going to go. Restart. Our assistant referees are swapping sides. So we'll reset the clock, go 10 minutes again. Good restart.
To crack a restart.
Yeah, and it's given them a scrum in prime position if they want it. Doughty has gone into halfback. Waited as long as he could. Van Aswegen at 10, off the boots of McKinley. Then it will come out to this near side.
That's a good
Puts
kick.
it back on the boot. Where's the chase? The chase is there. The chase is Doughty! The chase is Doughty! Rising from the grave like Lazarus. And he'll put them ahead. Tommy McCall bringing in Dane Cooper to the celebrations.
Look, It's a fantastic try, and I just said, as soon as the winger had just taken that on, he's kicked it inside. He's seen the oncoming rush that's there, and Troy is committed as ever, first to it as well. What an impact he's made straight away by coming on, and we said that he could galvanise his team into victory. Not necessarily a given just yet. They've still got the kick to take, and they've still got to see out the remaining 9 minutes of this as well. But oh wow. What a start to this second period as well.
What a story. He was told his season was over. He was told 8 weeks. It looks like Mr. Keeper is going to go and sit down, so they're going to come a player down as well.
For South.
Hopefully something happening. Dane Keeper just been sent to the bin.
He might have just taken umbrage at the celebrations unfolding in front of him, maybe.
A little bit of that. And Whitton will knock it over. So 39 points to 32. We've been here before with them 7 points down. The time expiring. We reckon we're about 8 minutes away.
Yeah, just a bit of an uphill struggle for Souths now that they are they're the man down.
Good contestable restart again, and Tamai nearly came up with it. Sorry, Ronavusa nearly came up with it. Be another scrum. And we've said it a couple of times today. If there is a time to win one against the head, it's now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Onkaparinga starting to get excited about this one though. The bench is up and about.
Yeah, there's a bit of a crowd that's amassed on that hill where the Onka supporters are congregated. Bit of a crowd that's amassed behind us as well. It's it's tensions all round. It really is.
Ball to the back of the scrum. Doughty to Van Aswegen. Happy to just play as far away from his own try line as he can. Rowe. Sam Rowe will try and find a way through. Did well, Sam Rowe. Let it go. Got back up again, but the counter ruck comes from Onkaparinga. Bush will tidy it up. Wiggett has to get it away. Gets it to Klopp. Klopp working back into the safety of midfield. Tommy McCall will steal it. Doughty then loses it forward.
That's good work from Tommy McCall there. He's just created that turnover, just causing problems for them as well, doing anything that he can for his team to slow it down, to turn it over, to create a little bit of doubt in the minds of Souths as well. And he's done a solid for his teammates there, and they should all be patting him on the back for that.
Big steal. Jack Johns is cramping up. Farsoa is cramping up. Every single scrum, every single pass.
Yeah, there's a little bit of nastiness that's gone on between the lines there. That was silly from the Souths 9. There was absolutely no need for him to do that. He's just lifted an elbow right in the face of Troy there, who's just doing what any normal halfback's going to do in that situation.
Yeah. Kamitha cramping up. McKinley will probably just push this one down in the corner. They have the cushion of 7 points.
Yeah, cushion of 7 points. They've still got some freshness on the bench as well, Onkers, if they need it. They've obviously got a fresh Troy and a loud crowd.
Yeah. Well, probably louder over on the way on that hill. We're just not over there. Smith. And again, we talked about it, every single set piece. This has to be perfect. Step one done. Stanojevic hit it hard and early.
Yeah, he needs to get back into that now.
Finds himself, and they are starting to get that roll on. Whitton has hands on at the back. It's not a proper driving maul till the back's driving. It's still going. It's still there. It's over the line. That one is done. Not sure who's come down with it. A little bit of cheekiness. In fact, I think our camera operator, David Muggleton, standing in there has made people realise not to do anything silly. Not going to do anything when there's a camera right there. But that's a try. I don't know who got it. Trying to see who's got hands on it. I know Caleb Whitten has hands on it at that point.
It's a lovely drive from the person who's come in quite late there. Is that number 17? Made a big difference there just to shift the momentum a bit.
Not sure who had it at the final moment.
It was Kurt McKinley who came just running from the backs as well, and he's jumped in there. He's come from a long way, and again just shifted the momentum in the favour of Onkers there.
Oh, it's Haggis has got it.
Oh, has he?
Haggis has got it. Haggis was the last hand on there. And Caleb Whitten will kick it, and that, you would think, is a mountain too big to climb for Souths now.
Yeah, I think so. Given some of the variables that we discussed earlier on, there's still some freshness on the bench of Onkers, some of which have just come on now. Souths players look like they're cramping up, and a couple of them are obviously backing up as well in this game. And I just think that is going to knock the wind out of their sails a little bit.
Whitten sends it on the way, brings it back around. He's happy with that one. The flags go up. He's had an absolutely wonderful game. 14 points the difference, 46 points to 32. Now it's about possession for Onkaparinga. Tamai has to be contestable. Time is running out. It is contestable.
Onkers bench just celebrating every little success at the moment,
Well,
aren't
everything is a success now. Benny White. They've made some space and they could have broken them. Sam Rowe. Great touch. Doughty. Van Asvegen looking for a gap. Looks to offload onto the inside, which he does. To McCall. Doughty. To McKinley. McKinley will put the ball on the boot. Ends up off Zeervogel. It's going to end up on South's hands. And he's lost that one forward.
Good recovery.
Wilkins steps back inside. Then we'll give it out. He'll put it on the boot. Rowe will have to go and get it.
Nice fend.
Absolutely sapping game of rugby. Out to Tamai. Tamai will clear it away.
He's gone quick.
Players all over the place.
Oh.
Van Asvegen looks for another drop goal. Goes under the post this time, but it'll be a 22. It'll take some more time off the clock.
Yeah, it wasn't far off, and I see what he's trying to do
He
in
had
that
too
decision
much
there.
time.
But respectfully, I think that they had an opportunity there from a line out.
Oh,
to
there's
just
people
slow things
strewn
down
all
a
over
little
the
bit.
people strewn all over the floor. I mean, even the quick one, you would have numbers.
Oh, that's not very good.
No, Jake
Result for South.
Jake Mulder will sort that one out. McCall. Happy to just straighten up. Take on Lucas. Benny White still on a hat trick, ladies and gentlemen. McKinley.
Yeah,
flat ball to Wall. Wall will shake through. Then sends it over the far side to Riley Matthews. Matthews gets there. And that one is that.
Yep.
An absolute barnstormer of a game. The scoreline does not do Souths the justice, but it certainly does Onkaparinga the justice. They have come a long, long way today. They will take on Burnside next week. 3 tries in the second half of extra time.
Yeah, and well done to Onkers as well, because it would have been absolutely gut-wrenching to have had that victory snapped away from the completely confuddling my words here, but you know what I mean. So right in the last, in the depths of the first segment of the game, where Souths have just gone in and they've stolen that and they've got the draw. Onkers have picked themselves up really, really well in this batch of extra time to then put the game to bed, and looks as though it's way, way beyond the point of doubt now.
Yeah, you would say so. And Witten, who's had a great day with the boot, will just look to put a cherry on top of the cake of the day that he's had today. And Tommy McCall had a starring role, and you cannot underestimate the impact that Troy Doughty had on this game. He's pulled that one. And that will be that. So Onkaparinga and the travelling army will take on Burnside next week. It's a tough one for South. And Onkaparinga now have to go again. And next week we will see them take on Burnside in what is a repeat of that original grand final that we saw. As the sun sets on Woman Reserve, it also sets on the season of South. And Onkaparinga will march on again. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully next weekend lives up to this one. We will see you again then. From me, Dave Webb, and Tom Hankey, good night.